Hi, Kelly here from Body Fit Solutions. Good morning. This is an intermediate advanced Pilates. We're going to focus on mobility, loosening off the hips, the back, and just kind of then flow into a nice little waking up, invigorating kind of workout. So we're going to start in all fours, and we're going to do kind of a little bit of an old school little hip mobility. What I would suggest if you're very, very tight is to do your myofascial release first, so maybe into the hips, down to the quads, potentially into the hamstrings, before you do this video again. But we're going to see how we feel. If it's feeling a little bit too tight, you guys that are watching right now, just take yourself away from the mobility, do the myofascial release, and then come back when you can. Okay? So we're just going to put the hands on the floor, and we're just going to start just circling gently the hips and just noticing how the hips are feeling. And going a little bit back and forward, letting the chest lift. So I'm going back, feeling the hamstring of the right side. Nothing too crazy, I just want to feel the elasticity. And forward, and one more back, and forward, and then adding a little rotation. So nice and easy here. Just listen, and that's feeling a little bit strange, so I don't want to push it. I'm just going to roll. And release. And then just taking that leg that you had in front out to the side, and just sitting back gently and back forward. So kind of in quadruped, and then just drawing back and forward. I'll show you from the side, so my legs out. I don't want it too high, so nice and comfortable, spine nice and neutral, and then just coming back. Now just make sure that you don't kind of round the spine as you're going back. So it's not a really big movement, but you should feel some mobility in those hips, okay? Whichever leg is out to the side, same side arm goes under gently, don't force it. And then come up into rotation. And under. And up. Okay, so you're going to feel the inner thigh of this leg, but also the inner thigh of the other leg as I come into here. I can feel some pull into the groin. One more time. And back up. And then release. Good. So let's do the other leg. So taking the other leg forward. Hands on the ground, and then just come into circles. So I kind of think of my pelvis first leading, but I'm also paying attention to the front leg. So just feeling the leg kind of go into the hip, massaging into that hip crease. You might even want to put your hands in there and just kind of feel, is it feeling sticky? Could we kind of mobilize and massage that leg deeper into the hip? So you might even want to circle the front legs and just kind of going a little bit like this. I'm not kind of wanting to feel an overstretching feeling. I'm wanting to just kind of release the kinks and the knots that are in there. Okay? Then into a gentle rotation. And come back. And rotate. Again, that one feels a little bit tighter. So I'm not going to force it. Go to where it feels good. Just kind of meet the edge of your tension. Don't kind of push where it feels too yucky. Okay, and then take that front leg out to the side, nice neutral spine. Now I can feel already that one is much tighter than the other side. The other side was totally happy. And release. That's going to be interesting. I'm thinking of doing some rolling techniques. So if you have quite a small lounge like I do, let's add rotation, then you might find this next bit amusing. And around, and up, and around. Good, so just notice how that one feels. Just kind of seeing what my body needs. Nice little crack there, and back. Good, and then just I do a little bit for your shoulders, so just kind of waking them up, seeing how sticky they feel, letting one side go up towards the ears, and the other side comes down, so we're kind of getting elevation and depression, but in opposition to each other. And a little bit of shoulder rolling, very gently. So that feels okay for me. Little bit of protraction, retraction. And then also get the spine, especially in the upper back, just starting to wake up. And I'm just going to put my hair up. So just going into that little cat stretch, grounding, and then do a little bit for your lower back. So see if you can keep the upper back a little bit more neutral, a little bit more happy, and just do a little bit for your lower half. And we've talked about this before, that when we go into that more 6 o'clock, the tail to the sky, we don't want to let go of the kind of corset around us, okay? So if we follow gently and then keep that layer of deep belly on as the tail goes back up, that's going to feel a little bit nicer than if we just hang it out. Okay? So if you've got like a nice carpet like this, but even if you've got like a hard floor, it might be good to explore the hard floor a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna look like I'm giving birth a little bit here. So we're just gonna roll from one kind of little mermaid position to the other, okay? So my rolling points are my heel bones and my sit bones. Okay, so I don't want to be kind of adjusting the legs at all. I just want to roll so that one leg goes in, one leg goes out. And then I'm using my hands to roll back. Now, if you've got quite a hard surface like this, I'm actually getting a nice little myofascial release on my glutes as I go to each side. Okay? Now, you might have to adjust where you are, but now I want to roll onto the front of my legs, over to the other side, and then arrive back in the sitting. Hopefully you followed me there. You're not hitting your couches. Okay, so I'm rolling, coming across that IT band, and then coming back to the mermaid. Okay, so I'm really trying to roll across my quads. Yes, I'm rolling across the left. I come into the middle, go across the right, and then finish in the mermaid. So if you're kind of stuck for space, just do a little bit of that and just rolling. But if you can come back up, it's quite nice. You can get a little spiral and spiral. So let's just do 2 more and spiral. And 1 more, that feels quite nice on my bum. And spiral. Lovely. So let's, do I want to do 1 more? Yeah, I just want to do 1 more in sitting if we can. Okay, just be careful here. If you prefer to be sitting up a little bit more propped up, grab a cushion or pillow, but it might not work as well. I've got my hands behind, and now I'm just rotating my left leg so that the heel is turning, and just feeling internal rotation, external rotation. So just kind of completing this little hip spiral, which should feel quite nice. So now I'm rolling into this side a little bit. So you might feel some of your adductors, some of your hamstrings. You decide how far, why. Don't force it. Don't feel like anything is forced. Okay? We're not trying to shove ourselves into positions. Spiraling is really, really helpful for unwinding, okay? And that can be unwinding physically or unwinding mentally. But just gentle spirals can actually be really powerful for just releasing tension in ourselves. Okay, so let's just do a few more on this side. Just notice the difference. No forcing into the SI joint, just nice and beautiful little rotations. Okay, let's just make our way down onto the floor, and I'm feeling still a little bit of spirals are needed in my body, so maybe today will be focused a little bit around spiraling. So let's take the feet together and find a comfortable place for the arms to rest. Okay, and then I'm gonna, actually, let's just let the hips, the leg bones, just rock,
And at first your pelvis is going to rock, but I want you to see if you can then contain just the leg movement in your hip. Now it's going to feel like you're hardly moving. If you can see me on the screen, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. So I'm trying to now keep my pelvis stable and see if I can just have that very tiny little rock in the legs. So you might hold your pelvis. If I tip the legs to the left, then my pelvis is going to slightly tip to the right. My legs tip to the right, my pelvis is slightly going to tip to the left. So you might feel more of a deep abdominal, maybe a little bit of an inner thigh pull, but nothing super strong, okay? Good, so we're just opposing the pelvis. Then we're going to kind of release a little bit and let the pelvis go with the legs. So I want that little moment of the legs on their own. Then I want to bring the pelvis with it, the waist. But as I get to the ribs, the upper body is going the opposite way. The right shoulder gently comes off the ground, looking to the left, and then let the ribs come back as the head returns, the waist, the pelvis, and then the legs. So this is like a really nice, gentle, slow-mo kind of action. So legs, then pelvis, waist, and then as I get to the ribs, we've got to be very careful we don't start doing this. So actually when I get to the ribs, I almost want to melt the ribs down as I look over to the right. Nothing's forced, okay? So I'm not trying to push my legs down. Actually, I push my legs down, I go into my low back, and I don't really want that. I want the elastic to stay here. So now my left shoulder is a little bit off the ground, and then I'm going to bring the left shoulder back, the shoulder blade, the ribs, the waist, and that feels very nice and abdominal. Okay, over legs, pelvis, waist, ribs, head. I'm always feeling like I'm a towel wringing out, and I'm never disconnecting from my center. So if it feels suddenly disconnected from the center, then you've gone too far, okay? And then unwind it back. So shoulder blade, waist, pelvis, legs. So just do one more this way. Legs, pelvis, waist. Okay, this side feels very different. So don't want to push it. Might even want to tuck the pelvis under a little bit. That feels nice around my hip. And then melt it back. Okay, so stay with that if that feels really good for you. If you want to, scoop up to tabletop, coming into where your pelvis is really, really supported on the mat. So I don't want to be on the tail side. I want to be almost up near the top of the sacrum. Legs together or apart, whichever feels better for you. Now roll over, head the other way. Exhale back. So same idea. We kind of want to let the legs go a little bit first, then the pelvis gets full, then the waist, the ribs go, and I look over to the opposite side. Yeah, I'm not trying to fix my arms into the floor and letting them be free. Okay, so it should feel like the opposite side to your leg just comes off the floor a little bit. I'm not forcing it off the floor, but it should naturally come off. Decide if you want your legs apart a little bit up here. Okay, as I've talked about before, if you're very tight in your hips, you might not find the legs close together. If you're a little bit more flexible, then the legs definitely together is going to be better for you. So just do one more on each side there. If you're still on the ground, enjoy that at a slightly slower pace. And then just kind of come back to center. And I just want you to gently come into a little flexion bowl. So just feeling the stretch of the back body. And then open everything out and feel the stretch of the front body. So from the hips, opening the belly, maybe through your arms. If that feels too much, just do it out to the side. But really focus on kind of opening the hip area, maybe lifting the sternum up. And then drag the legs in, hug into a nice little ball, maybe wiggling up a little bit, see if you can get those shoulder blades up more. So watch, it's not just a neck pulling, but I'm trying to get the whole back of the body. I'm even taking the tail off the floor. That feels nice. And then opening everything back up. Taking a breath into it. And melting in. Just massaging the legs around. Allowing the pelvis to come up a little bit. So if the pelvis comes off the floor, that's okay. That feels good. But I'm trying not to get sticky in the hips. So I want to circle where my legs are kind of going down into my pelvis a little bit. Maybe change the orientation of how you're holding the knees. And massaging into the hips if it feels good to go the other way. I'm just trying to find that really nice fluid elastic quality in my tissue. So I don't want rigidity, stickiness, guarding, protecting as much as can. Just want to be fluid. Okay, just doing a little bit of opposition. So I'm keeping hold of the legs. And letting the leg just bring my shoulder blade off the ground a little bit. Okay, so I've got the right knee, my right shoulder blade coming off. I'm not trying again to over pull it. I'm just allowing that nice little rotation to happen. So it feels nice and nurturing. So shoulder blade off the ground and rocking. And if it feels appropriate, it doesn't for me, but it might for some of you to come up. It's not feeling like it wants to today, but if it does, allow your head to come up. My head's just saying no. So just do one more on each side, however you feel. You might even figure eight it a little bit. Oh, too much for the brain this morning, maybe. I'm just circling and then allowing the arm to be taken by there. Okay, let's go on to the side. We've done some of these before in the last few workouts. Decide how you want the head, but I just want to do a little swing of the leg. What I might do is a little bit of a roll. So again, we just need a little bit of space here. So I'm going to roll onto the back, drop my roller, and roll back around. So I'm going to let the leg take my pelvis, take me onto my back, and roll, push, and slide. So roll onto the back, roll onto the side, slide. So I'm kind of letting that leg pull the pelvis, take me into kind of that little open stance position. Wherever you want the arm to go. You might even want the arm to sweep a little bit and come back. That feels nice. And back, maybe even go the other way a little bit, but we will do the other side. And one more. Awesome. So come around the other side. Just being really free this morning, okay? Some of you have done quite a lot of the strengthening stuff. So you might just need a little bit of some melting, some calming, some recovery. And roll. If you want to go into a straight leg, go with what feels good. Okay, there's no direct rules. You can go over to the other side and come back. Hopefully we're not crashing into things. We may be. I know in my living room I would be. That's why I can't do it in my living room. Let's do two more. This feels a little bit tight in my SI joint on this side. So just kind of, noticing, let's stay on this side, but don't, let's try not to forget the other side. Okay, so what I want is to tap the knee down so that my foot is slightly up, so I'm internally rotated and then externally rotated. I want to kind of go into a little frog here. So internal rotation, little frog press. Internal rotation, little frog press. So my bottom like comes up a little bit and it's rotating outwards as well. And in, and out. And in, and out. Ooh, that feels nice in my bum. And 3, and rotate, and 2, and rotate, and 1, and rotate. And then just come onto your back before we go to the other side, but I won't forget. Okay, now take the legs so that they are slightly kind of knock-kneed, and I want you to come into a little bridge, and then at the top, so just decide where the legs need to be, rotate outwards. So inward rotation, external rotation. So I'm circling the legs inward to come up. Make sure you are still slightly 12, you still have deep belly on, so we're not kind of going up into these postures. Circle around. And then go the other way. So starting from the external and internally rotate back in and spiral. And that feels like not so restricted in my hips. It feels like I'm working my bum, but it's not feeling strained in the hamstrings or overly strained in my quads. One more time. So keep that little 12 and release. Okay. Come to the other side. So we'll just do that little internal and then the clam. So we drop the knee just in front. Now that's even there is giving me a little stretch in my hip. So the foot's down, the knees up, and then into that little froggy press. And I just press the heels together, spiral both legs, internal and external, wherever you want the head. Internal, oh, it's giving me a big stretch in those glutes. But it feels kind of nice. And up, and internal, and up. Watch that it's not kind of in the front of the hip, just on those last two. I was just really conscious that actually my hip flexors were trying to take over. So I'm just going to ease back on that one. Try not to go so high. One more. And rotate. Awesome. While we're here, let's go on to the front and just do a little bit of spiraling here. We did it the other day with the hands just underneath the head. Take the legs up, but just be careful your tail doesn't go up. Okay, so just have a moment, resetting the ribs, taking the pelvis down. So I just want that bend where I don't lift the tail up. Okay, so right there for me. So we're going to go over to the side. So I'm going over to the left, sweeping down over to the right, and come back up. Over to the left. And there's a little bit of movement in the pelvis, so don't be fixed in the pelvis, but I want to make sure that I'm not going into hyperextension. So I'm keeping the tail kind of down. So one more in that direction. And then come back up to the middle, check your pelvis, pubic bone should be more on the ground. So that's what you can focus on, is keeping the pubic bone on the ground. And I'm going to the right, down and around. So if you can see from that way, right, down and around. That feels much tighter going that way than the other way. One more. Okay, so let's get our toesy-woesies a little bit awake. Okay, so I'm going to tuck the toes under, and I want you to try and get your big toe and your second toe forked over your heel. Okay, so I'm gonna lengthen my legs over. If that's too much, you can cross, but it doesn't work as well. So if we can get that big toe and second toe around the Achilles, not the heel, because the heel is quite fat. Okay, and then I'm just gonna rotate. So I've got my right leg on top of my left. I'm gonna rotate the right hip around, and I'm pressing my right arm a little bit into the ground. Make sure that your sacrum is still long as you do this. Oh. Okay, other side. So fork into that foot and rotate. Oh, that one's tighter. So I'm letting that left hip come up, and I can feel a little stretch in my tummy, in my hip, and my obliques. I can't nearly go as far, but I'm not going to force it. Okay? So there might be some restrictions in my shoulders. There might be some restrictions in my hip this side. Okay, so that opens up our hips a little. Then lay your legs back down. Feel still the pubic bone is on the ground. Hands in W. Okay, and then start to peel and look over the shoulders. So now we're spiraling the upper half. So lengthen, look around. Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening to when it starts to feel a little bit strained. Okay, so if it starts to feel a little bit low backy, then don't go that far. Add a little leg slide. Change your hand position, whatever feels good. You want more of this position. Leg slide. Leg slide, that suddenly feels better now. I can kind of mobilize that upper back a little bit more. If it feels better just to stay here. Feel how much your abdominals are giving. Okay, so are they feeling really rigid? And if they are, you might have to do some releasing with your frontal ball in your belly. Okay, then bring your hands nice and close in, little grasshopper position. And I want you to just gently retract your shoulders, but try not to pull them down. Okay? So I want you to gently retract your shoulders, and notice how my shoulder rotates around. Okay? So the front of the shoulder rotates. So I'm externally rotating. Okay? And then just flop. So retract the shoulders, rotate the upper arm around. Okay, so I can feel a little bit more of the elbows kind of pulling together, but I want the deep belly to be on at that point, okay? So I don't want to be slumped into the ground. And then flop. Retract. Yeah, so it almost feels like an upward movement to bring the shoulder blades around and bring the arms around. If I go down, I can't actually rotate my upper arm. It does feel like I'm a little bit more elevated. Okay, take a breath into the upper back. Keeping those hips nice and spacious, start to go through your upper back. Take a breath in. Exhale, go a little bit further. Send the legs down the mat. Go a little bit more. I'm putting a little bit more weight into the triceps. Bring the ribs up, the belly up. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle as you go. If you can get to the full swan, great. If not, don't worry. Go where it feels good. And then come back down, trying not to collapse yourself, okay? Wiggle, wiggle. Soften your thighs. Notice as you come up, are you gripping and tensing into the legs? We want a feeling of the legs going away. I'm feeling my elastic point. Nice breath in. So rolling those shoulders back, okay? But they're not down, okay? Because if I depress, I don't go anywhere, okay? So we go out, feeling the elastic of your belly. Are your deep abdominals on? Are they hanging out? Now I'm working my triceps more. Lift through the belly, lift through the ribs, a little bit of 12, and come back. If you can do one more, that's great. If not, just have a nice little shell stretch, okay? Shoulder blades together, roll the shoulders, Coming up just gently, pubic bone, sacrum long, legs long. So I'm feeling like my legs are being pulled down the mat as I go forward. Nice. And then shell stretch back. And slowly come up. Nice. If you've got a flex band, I would suggest that you use this here. If you don't have a flex band, just do the best you can. Hold behind your legs. Whatever you need to. I'll give you some modifications if you don't have a band. But I think a band is really good, or even your tubing. If you've got kind of tubing, I think these are tools that we should have, and especially if we're going to be in lockdown for quite a while, we might need to get our kit. Remember, you guys, you can get this stuff from us, okay? So get in touch, and we can rent those out for you. So sitting nice and tall, and I just want to kind of let go. So the front of the thigh, the front of the hip, my deep belly going back, falling, even letting go across the shoulders, my ribs falling back, all the way down. Okay, take a breath in, roll the head. Okay, so now I want the back of the body almost to spread out. I still want the deep belly on, so I don't want to be over pushing, and then come up, okay? So that's your band option. Option without the band, we can go into our lovely assisted roll up. So as I go to here and I'm letting go of the hips, I'm using my legs as my anchor to be able to go down. I want to roll the head, and here I want to push the legs forward, okay? Letting the deep belly stay on. So if the deep belly comes off and I start using my outer muscles, then we're gonna have a problem, okay? Option number 3, you can have the legs more open in both positions, okay? So whether you've got the band, just be careful actually how you hold the band if you're gonna have an open leg position, and then coming up, seeing if you can do it without assistance or holding with the legs more apart. So just give yourself permission to play. How can I roll up and down and let go of the muscle intention? Remember, all we're doing in the roll up is allowing this fascial line to give. So if we think about laying down along that fascial line, okay, so I'm kind of laying my tissue down and then imagining, actually this is a really good way to do it as well, if I can get my down sorted over my head. That can be really helpful because then the brain knows where it needs to give, okay? So choose your adventure, even just going into a half roll back, guys, okay? Until the body kind of gets used to letting go. And this is a brain thing more than anything. Jaw letting go. Remember, that's quite helpful. Inhale. Okay, so just that tongue out helps us to connect into our deep abdominals. So play with that in your version. That'd be nice to listen to you guys doing that. I miss you all doing that. So it just helps me to take also the pressure out of the neck. And up. And let's do one more coming down. I know I look weird. And release. Okay, so let's take the hands interlace following the head. Have a little wiggle. Remember, we don't want the elbows to be just flopped out to the side. We want to have the head really being held by the hands. And I want to feel that the shoulder blades up to the arm to the head are all connected. So from ribs to shoulder blades to elbows to head. Okay? Whereas if I have here, I have no connection to my trunk. Okay? So now my trunk is alive here. Take a breath in. Exhale. Think of that air. And then roll back down. Okay, now if I didn't do the air, okay, and I'm not exaggerating, that's how far I Feels really strained, it feels really shit. Okay, sorry for swearing. Inhale. Why does that work? Because it gets my deep abdominals to start firing so that it can help me lift up. Okay? And it should feel less strained on the neck. And because you're on your own, you can be silly. So tongue right out. And roll down. Okay? One more time. In. And really stick that tongue out. So not a little like New Zealand warriors. Maori warriors. Okay. Take one leg up, then the other. Now I'm really in there. Feel free to come down anytime. So I'm keeping it in the middle. Now I'm burning. Or just do a little rotation back to center. And release. So that's a really nice way to stay in those flexion patterns without it feeling really strained in the neck. So hopefully you felt that. Take a nice stretch out. Let's do that one more time. I'm feeling like I want to do that again. So you have a couple of options. If that was great and that worked for you, do that again. You might want to try with the legs down and just do a little single leg. Okay, so I'll show you that option. You could also do just the legs and keeping your head on the floor, just doing a little roll. That feels really juicy on my abdominals. I don't even have to take my head up, okay? So choose your adventure, take a nice breath in. Exhale, nice big and that helps us get up. That's working. Okay, here's that high one. One more. And stretch it out. Okay. Let's come into our quadruped again. Hopefully we're feeling okay. We'll do a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to go into some weight bearing. So I want to do just a little hover and then start to add a little rotation. So let's go back and remind ourselves of our quadruped. Nice spread fingers, wrist right underneath the armpit, but taking pressure off the wrist. Okay, so I'm always feeling like I'm lifting and bringing my arms onto my shoulders. Okay, so onto the back of my shoulders. And then I have to kind of assess what's happening down here. Okay, so am I in a hyperextended position? I want the ribs back, the belly back. Okay, so tuck the toes under. Okay, keeping the weight in the shoulders and in those lats. So a nice external rotation. You're going to hover. And inhale back. And hover. And it's like the legs are being sucked into the hips. Okay, so I'm pressing down, but I'm also lifting out of the mat. I'm not drawing down into the mat. One more. And then release. Show stretch. Okay. Come back up. Reorient yourself. Keep checking in with yourself. How can I do this better? How can I come into the upper arm? How can I take the pressure out of the wrist? Is my head dropping down? That's going to put more wrist tension. So actually having the head feel like it's part of your back is really important. Okay? Think gorilla position. Okay, this time what we're going to try and do is tick-tock the legs 4 times and then come back to center. So we're going to try and hold it. If it's too much, so you might want the legs a little bit more together here. Nice length in posture. Hover, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, back to center, and down. So you see, I don't move that much, and I want to make sure I'm not moving so much that it's kind of twisting in my upper back. Okay? So hover, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and oblique, and then release. Okay? If you have one more in there, take it lengthened, deep belly on, hover, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have a rest. While we're here, I want to come into a little kind of planky position. Okay, so we're going to take the legs back just a little bit. I kind of want a 45-degree angle. I want to tilt the pelvis a little bit. Now, usually then the shoulders kind of hunch. So I want deep belly on with spinal extension, so thoracic extension. Okay, now if I take those legs up now, I'm in my kneeling plank. My deep belly is almost spreading out. I don't want to brace, because if I do too much bracing, that's what happens to my shoulders. The shoulder blades are retracting, but the spine is lengthening. Ribs are connected up, so if you feel your ribs hanging, then draw them up. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and then just take it back. Have a little breather. And then come back into, this is all about technique. If you feel that it's too easy, you're not in the right position, okay? Notice how my elbows are right directly under my shoulders. I've got a little bit of 12 with the pelvis, but I want to be chest opening. It's like my ribs are expanding out to the side. My lower ribs are lifted. I'm 12 with my pelvis. There's a lot of work in my shoulders right now, a lot of work in my deep belly, but for me, mostly shoulders, because that's where my weak point is, okay? My deep belly is okay, so you guys might feel different things depending on your weak spots. 2, 1, and then walk it back. And show. What I'd like to try and do is kind of a classic leg pull exercise. And we'll just see how it goes. I might modify depending on how I feel, because it's not the most functional exercise, and it's quite challenging being in the full plank position, okay? So at any point, if you want to come out of it, just go back to the hover, or go back to that kneeling plank. That's totally awesome. Okay, so we're going to come back into that little hover position. Okay, from the hover, we're going to step out into the plank, but I want you to reach your heels really backwards and really connect with your inner legs. Okay, so we're not sinking into the front of the legs, we're kind of evenly between the front and the back of the legs. Okay, now you're going to press into one foot, let the other foot come off the ground. Okay, so press down into the one foot, let the other foot come off the ground. It's really hard. Okay, I want to not lose my reach, so just do 4. And then come back. Now that was a lot of strain kind of in my upper back, maybe not so much of a nice way. So I would suggest we kind of go down to our kneeling and do some single legs there, just as a little break in between. And then what I might do is come down to some standing stuff. So let's go back into our kneeling plank position, tilt the pelvis, nice open chest, legs up. Okay, make sure you're in that 45 degrees, so you don't want to be too low. Okay, here. Now, if I press down into one leg and let the other knee come off a fraction off the floor without changing anything, now that suddenly is a bit more deep belly. Pressing into the floor, releasing up. Okay, we don't want the tail going up, really keep that 12. So the hips to the ribs. One more on each side, yeah, don't need to do much. So I'm pressing down into the floor to lift the other leg. One more. Now my shoulders are starting to feel. Okay. And coming into here. Okay, I have an idea for our little mermaid. So in this one, prop yourself up on some blocks if you need to. If you've got a pillow that you can put under your hip, on the higher side hip. So if you have one hip higher than the other, it's, putting it under the lower side hip. Okay, now I just want you to rotate and mobilize like we did at the beginning with the leg out to the side. So I'm internally rotating and back, internally rotating and back, and just kind of feeling how I'm sitting back into this position. Prop yourself up higher if you need to, get a book under there, whatever makes the hips feel good. Okay, and then you could use the roller here. It's quite nice just to have the hand a little bit more propped up, especially if you're on a cushion. You might find that being on the floor doesn't feel so good. But there's something also nice about kind of pushing the floor away. So choose what feels good. We're going to take the free arm up. So I have my hand on the floor to the front leg side. Okay, and then I want to kind of push the ground away. Yeah, now I don't want to roll the roller away, but it's kind of like I'm pushing the roller down to lift my left side up a little bit more. I don't want to collapse down, that's different. So I'm actually growing more through my low back, more through my upper back, lifting out of the hips, finding space, and then release back. Okay? So I want to, as soon as that arm goes up, I'm actually thinking of my central core lifting up a little bit more as well. And over. Lift, 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 lift. Open up that side body. Now, rotate and thread your arm underneath. Okay, so if you have your hand on the floor, I can kind of push into the floor and then come back to that side. Lifting out, rotate. So it's kind of like your little reformer rotation. And come back. Feel that it comes across the back of you, from the back of the pelvis around and back up, lift and release. Okay, let's take it to the other side. So I lie about doing the full time, but I lie quite often, as you guys know. Okay, so with or without the roller, just have a little bit of mobilizing first. Roll, and in, good. And then sitting nice and tall, lifting the arm up, and I'm just exploring this. It doesn't feel as good on this side. Feel free to go here with your hand. I should have said that on the other side. So if you're on the mat, you're kind of pushing the mat away to open up your right side more. Okay, watch where you are with your chest, and then come back up. There goes my roller. Inhale up. Or if you have another block here to rest your arm on, so you're not having to go so low, lift, lift, lift the low back, lift the waist. Okay, so it's not about kind of doing this big sloppy stretch. Okay, this is about creating tension with length, length with tension. Okay, so we want to have what's called tensegrity, which means we have integrity and tension and elastic. Okay, so we don't have a sloppy elastic, we have a tensioned elastic. Okay, let's add that little thread, the needle through. Okay, so if you're on the roller, that's awesome, and then come back to that shape here, and then you could release the arm, come under, and back up. Find more lift through the belly, and one more time, under, and back up, and release back all the way. Nice little shoulder roll, come back to kind of a kneeling posture. Just bring yourself back to there, check in how you feel, and then just slowly standing up, and then just taking a nice breath in, and breath out, and just a little kind of wrapping rotation in standing, just to see how the hips feel, how the body feels. Hopefully that feels a little bit looser in yourself, and use some of those techniques when you're feeling a little bit stiff. Thanks for joining me. I'll come chat to you in a second.